All right, welcome back. We have secured another guest. This time it's Jay Evans, another pro pickleball player here. Jay, tell the people about you. Tell us who you are, where you're from, what sports you played, all of the intro things.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Jay Evans. I am a native of Tampa, Florida. I am the director of pickleball for a company called the Pickleball Academy. We have 5 indoor facilities across the Southeast. I played college tennis like many of us. I coached college tennis for 7 years. I got my start to playing pickleball competitively while I was the head tennis coach at Francis Marion University in Florence. So it's really cool to be back here at Collins Park. This is where I played my first ever pickleball tournament. I won my first 5-0 gold here. Just a lot of cool memories here. When I lived in Florence, I used to come down here at least once a month, twice a month, just to get good games in. So really cool to be back at Collins. I relocated back to Tampa about a year and a half ago. Went full-time into the pickleball world, coaching, playing, all that good stuff. I'm the captain and coach of the O-Town Bangers in the All-Florida Pickleball Pro League. So as soon as I'm done today here in Charleston, heading back to Florida to coach the team in the finals tomorrow before it's back on the road to the next couple tournament stops. So, just really excited to be back here in Charleston. Always a pleasure to be at Collins and see some familiar faces and just be out here enjoying a beautiful day and playing some pickleball.
Yeah, I don't think the weather could get any better, so we're pretty happy because it has been sweltering, so it's nice to actually come out here and not drip in sweat. But,
yeah, it is. You said you played your first tournament here?
Yeah, I think it was the Charleston Ambassadors 2022. I played 3-5 mixed doubles. Had been playing pickleball for like a month at this point. Ended up getting bronze, and that was just kind of where the tournament bug bit. Felt good to get back out competing. It had been a few years since I'd played anything competitive tennis-wise, and I think the next time I played a tournament, it was at 5-0 a couple months later, and just started grinding it out from there. Started playing pro stuff about a year and a half ago now, and unlike a lot of these guys, I'm mid-30s. I fund all of this exclusively myself. I'm my own coach. I'm my own sports psychiatrist. Lord knows I need one when I'm out there. But it's fun. I try to remind a lot of these younger guys, like, you got to love it. You got to enjoy it. The community is amazing. Just, for me, not the best player out there. I'm good enough to be competitive most days. I can press against some people and make matches interesting, but I don't know what the ceiling's going to be for me. For a lot of these younger guys, it's fun to be a mentor to them and just help them on their journey as well. I think my mom tells me this all the time, that the coach never leaves me. No matter what I'm doing, whether it's working at the facility or even out here at the tournaments, coaching my friends, or after the tournaments being their guy that they say, hey, what do you think about this? And just love being the guy that people bounce ideas off of. And just, for me, I'm excited to be involved in whatever capacity that's going to be, whether it's as a coach, as a player, as a broadcaster, as a journalist, as a mentor, as a local 5-0, whatever it is.
Just the love of the game.
Yeah, you just got to love it. You really just got to love it, and that's really just the key. That's kind of me in a nutshell. You got to love what you're doing.
So it's so cool that it sounds like you have a lot of experience coaching and kind of mentoring and stuff. That's super cool, and I think that's so important. I'm sure you had people that did that for you when you came into the game, but just for the growth of pickleball in general, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's giving back, and just it's fun to be that guy too. It's fun to be, the person that people go to with just to bounce ideas off of, or, they're 7-7 in a match and they just need that little extra bump. It's just, it's just it's nice to have that respect from people. And some of these guys are players that are way better than me, or are going to be exponentially better than me in a year's time. But, just having that respect from them it just feels good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's incredible.
yeah, and I think we were talking off camera, is like, you're funding this all yourself, but at the same time, like, you're having the best time. It's like, you're, whether it's good or bad, even in tennis, you lose much more than you win, but good or bad, you're still out here having a good time. And I think, that's the key to this. And I think that transfers all the way down to, you could be a 2-0. And it's like, that's what's so great about this sport. We're just a couple bums that could barely pass 3-5, but to talk to somebody like you, and then talk to people at Open Play that are starting for the first time, and you see them get addicted to this sport, and then the connections that you can make through it is, we were talking to Jacob Guidry earlier, and it's like the connections that you make through pickleball are like unmatched in sport. It's really crazy how many people we've already met, and we've just started doing this in March.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's where most of this world of pickleball is a couple years old.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know what it's going to truly be. It's still evolving by the second in every way, shape, and form. And, I always kind of remind my people back home, I say, it's not too late. Whatever it is you want to try to do in pickleball, it's not too late. You just have to just dive in.
Yeah.
And you might dive in head first and bump your head. You might dive in the shallow end and it doesn't end well. You might dive in the deep end and learn to swim. It's just, there's no ceiling. We don't know what this sport's truly going to transcend into. And that's just a fun thing to be in. It's unlike anything that most people have ever seen.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, so you were telling us how well traveled you are. Do you have a favorite tournament that you've played, or a favorite city that you look forward to on the map? Because you're playing everything, right? I mean, any tournament that's out there, it seems like you're involved in some capacity.
Yeah, I've got what I call a 16-hour rule. If it's if it's 14 hours or less, I'm driving at 100%, which is I might regret that decision next Monday when I'm on day 2 of the drive back from Little Rock. But I know my car regrets it, but my little Volkswagen's good to me, and I'm very thankful for it. I would say in terms of the challengers I've played this year, because I think I've played 3/4 of them, Maine was really fun. I think that was the tournament that I feel like kind of separated, all right, who's going all in on this challenger thing? Who is testing the waters? Like, I think a lot of people kind of figured out where they wanted to be with it after Maine. The weather was terrible. It was, it was 40 degrees and rainy the whole weekend.
Oh, wow.
Facility was beautiful. I think the team did a great job. Team always does a great job, but, Maine especially, like, it just felt like the most fun atmosphere, I guess. So Maine was really enjoyable. I really hope they put that one back on the schedule for next year. Would love to do that trip again. In terms of Maine Tour PPAs, really looking forward to Virginia Beach. Last year, that's where I got my first ever qualifying win. So, excited to return to that spot and hopefully build on the momentum, and it's a cool place. I'm hoping to spend a little more time there than I did last year, but like I kind of say, when I'm on the road, as soon as I'm done and it makes sense to get on the road, we're on to the next stop. I'm kind of turning into a pro pickleball bum in a lot of ways. I feel like half the time I'm living out of my car, but I wouldn't change it for the world. When I get back home to Tampa, I'm happy to be there, but I also just really enjoy being on the road, seeing my friends. I don't mind being in hotels. I don't mind being on the road. I don't mind eating Chipotle day after day, or Cava, or whatever bowl place or healthy-ish place it is. But I'd say Virginia Beach, Maine Tour. Really looking forward to that. And then challenger-wise, Maine was a lot of fun. Baton Rouge was a lot of fun. It's just cool to go to these places. And that's part of it. Go into these places that you wouldn't necessarily plan to go otherwise. I mean, all week at the facility, I've been talking about this trip and be like, you're going to Little Rock, Arkansas? I'm like, I'm excited. Why are you excited? I've never been to Arkansas. Yeah. I want to cross off all 50 states, and it's cool that this year alone, I think 4 or 5 of them have come from pickleball.
Oh, wow.
And, I'm getting to where there's not too many left, and it's going to start involving plane travel, most likely, unless I just do something crazy and drive out west for a couple weeks, which don't put it past me, I'll do it. But
start van life, dude.
Absolutely. It's just fun. At the end of the day, it's just fun, all of it.
Yeah, that's something that I think is really cool, especially like with the Challenger. I feel like it's so community based, like wherever they go, and I'm sure that's just such a cool experience, regardless of how you play or anything. Just traveling and seeing places you probably would never go to Little Rock.
No,
if it
no
wasn't
shot.
For pickleball, you know what I mean?
And the other part of it's the community of it too. I mean, talking to some of the other guys that have been grinding these out, obviously we play against each other. We're competing against each other. We're fighting for spots. We're fighting for rankings. Heck, we're starting to fight for PPA contracts soon. Mm-hmm. But when the friends do well, when the good people do well, we're happy. You know, a couple guys out there, Nick Romano, Connor Mogul, they just won the Kitchen Open, and you know, first thing see them today, it's like, dudes, congrats. Why are you not rolling up in a brand new Benz? Y'all just won 25 grand, and they're just like, oh, trust me, that's all going back to pickleball. But you know, just seeing guys like that, good people win things. You know, seeing when guys from the challengers are qualifying, when they pull upsets against, you know, some of the bigger name players, you're just happy for them. You're excited for them. I mean, when I had my little run, I'll call it, in Cincinnati, where I got in as a lucky loser, the amount of people that texted me just saying, dude, I am so excited for you. You've been grinding all year. You've been playing these tournaments. You deserve it. You know, it puts things in perspective. You know, I've been joking about it, but it truly, in the pickleball world, was life-changing. You know, you go from, all right, didn't qualify again. How many more of these do I really want to put myself through? How many, you know, more thousands of dollars do I really want to invest in this? And then you get the text, hey, you're in the main draw tomorrow. Ben Johns withdrew. You're taking his spot in the draw. And it's like, oh, this changes things in a whole lot of ways. And, you know, nope, there's no such thing as bad publicity in that world. My name got attached to Ben Johns. It's a pretty good name to be attached to. Got to play Chris Hayworth, who's one of the best singles players in the world. Got absolutely bludgeoned. Wouldn't have changed any part of it. Got to do something that there's a whole lot of people out here grinding, trying to do. And not even that, but, you know, you come back home and it's like, what was it like? And it's like, oh, I played a main draw. It was cool. You know, I hope to do it again, but if I never do it again, I've done it. You know, and there's something to be said for that. And, you know, hopefully in a couple days I'll add another one, but, you know, if it doesn't happen, we get back in the car and we keep chugging.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I guess you're a perfect person to ask this question too. How do you manage the burnout, as far as like you're just go, go, go at all times? You're always on kind of a high when you're at these tournaments, and if you're not, you're in your car traveling.
Yeah.
What's the process for that?
So one big thing that I try to do whenever I'm back home at the facility and like I just feel a little off, I jump into some rec games with like our 3-0s, 3-5s, 4-0s that play at the facility, and just try to have fun. You know, I take it just serious enough so that it doesn't feel like anyone's time's getting wasted, but, you know, just hitting the ball around and just trying to remember why I'm doing this. Another one is my dad. My dad started playing consistently beginning of this year. You know, he's about a 3-5 at this point. Still can't get him to hit a proper topspin drop. He just kind of rolls over it, but, you know, he's 63 years old and is out there playing 2-3 days a week, and, you know, that there's a lot of benefits to that. So I'll try to jump into games with him every once in a while. We have a park by our house that's multi-purpose courts with basketball lines, volleyball lines, and pickle lines. The nets aren't great, but at the end of the day, it's a pickleball court. I mean, my girlfriend's condos have a couple old tennis courts with temp nets that we set up, and we'll drill for an hour here and there and just try to remind myself that this is supposed to be fun. So I'd say that's definitely a big thing. And then just, you know, taking that step back. But so, you know, if you're in my position, 30-something, this isn't the end-all, be-all for you. You just have to have those reflectionary periods. I tend to do it while I'm driving. Just put on a good playlist and just ponder life and, you know, use every minute wisely. And then, you know, try to balance it out with the occasional trip or day trip somewhere where it's not pickleball at all. The paddles are not in the car. You're not even looking for a game or a court. You just go somewhere. And, you know, I love being outside. I love nature. So one thing I'm excited about in Little Rock is if I have a chance, I'm going to go in the Ozarks or whatever the mountain range is out there and, you know, explore something nice. Virginia Beach, I'm sure I'll spend some time on the water and just sitting there listening to the waves. And, you know, just having those reflectionary periods really helps rejuvenate my mind and get, you know, try to clear the head.
What advice would you give to like beginners or people just starting to come out to the challengers or getting into pickleball at a higher level?
Yeah, I would definitely say learn a little bit the right way. You know, the beautiful thing about pickleball is there is not really a right way, and that counteracts my point there, but learn a little bit of the right way, develop some of those basics, and then add your own flair to it from there. You know, invest in a good paddle as soon as you feel like it's something that you're going to keep doing. just to even have that credibility when you step on a court. I know when I see it at the facility, the people that play with the 10-year-old Selkirk with no lettering on it, people kind of look at me like, oh, they pull out their brand new Yolas and they're like, I don't want to play with that. Buy a good paddle, buy something decent. Prep yourself to get better and have fun with it. I mean, it's the beautiful part of this sport is it's a fully customizable sport. Watch every guy and girl out there playing pro singles today, and each one is going to bring something a little bit different. We're not yet to the point, unlike a certain other racket sport, where there are tennis ball hitting machines. There are not yet pickleball hitting machines. Everybody has their own little flair, their own style, their own trademark shots. I know I've got a couple that I hit whenever I can, and people are like, Jay, how do you hit that ball? I'm like, I just do it. See the ball, hit the ball, and try to put it where I want to put it. So yeah, I would say start the right way, then make it your own, to sum it up.
Maybe like just two more here. I don't want to keep you, I know you're busy, but what advice would you say, or what do you see the most if you see somebody at a 3-5 level that are making, what's the biggest mistake you see that you think that is the priority to correct? Because obviously at a 3-5, quite aware, a lot of problems, a lot of holes in the game. But what do you think the most important thing is to prioritize there?
As much as the game today doesn't want you to do it, learn to hit a drop. Learn to hit a proper drop. Power paddles have changed the game. More and more high-level athletes coming in have changed the game to where it's a much more power and hands-based game. I don't know. For me, the feeling of hitting a beautiful third shot drop exactly where I want to and winning the point off of that, second to none. I'd much rather do that than hit a backhand flick or a forehand drive winner or an Ernie or anything. A proper top spin third shot drop. Learn it, love it, live it.
I like that.
Yeah, I think that's great advice.
I could take that advice.
Yeah, well, we'll take it, and we won't do it, but we should. Awesome. Well, it's been awesome. Carl, you want to hit him with the final question?
Oh, who is the funniest on tour?
Oh, funniest on tour. I've got personal bias on a couple of these.
Perfect. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah,
personal bias.
I mean, I go way back with both of these players. Mari Humberg has one of the best personalities. I mean, anyone who knows me knows how close her and I are. Can't say enough good things about her. She's definitely one of the funniest and best personalities. On the guys' side, it's tough to go against Greg Dow. I mean, it's every time I see Greg, or Ryan Sherry, of course, but anytime I see Greg, he tends to say something that makes me laugh. And as someone who considers himself to be pretty funny, Greg's funnier than I am, without a doubt.
Well, we won't let Greg hear that. But yes. Well, Jay, thank you so much for coming on, talking to us about everything, and giving us a little insight on what it looks like to grind out some of these tours and the work that it takes to do so.
Yeah, also, if you want to take a second and shout out, if you have any handles, social media handles, or any sponsors you want to shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys can follow me, Instagram, Jay Evans Pickleball, all one word. All other socials are Jay Evans 813. Shout out Tampa. That's my home for life. Greatly appreciate Engage Pickleball. I just re-signed for year number 4 with them. I'm probably one of the only pickleball players left that have been with the same paddle sponsor for 4 years. So they've been unbelievable to me. Discount code Evans 20 Evans on all Engage products. New paddles are sick. Check them out. U-Drip and grips are great. And then the Pickleball Academy. We've got locations in Savannah, Tampa, Lakeland, Florida, Smyrna, Georgia, and we're about to open in Greenville, South Carolina, indoor pickleball. So
Nice.
Definitely check out the Pickleball Academy. And I'm just grateful for all the people who are supporting this journey from home and from everywhere. So thank you guys so much for the opportunity to get on here. And yeah, thanks again.
Absolutely.
Awesome, man. Thanks for coming on.
All right, that wraps it up with Jay Evans. We will be back with more. Don't you worry.